Just before, obviously, all the New Year's Eve celebrations and stuff, I thought I would bring you the iPhone 8 Plus review. So, I didn't go for the iPhone 10 and I didn't go for the iPhone 8. I went for the iPhone 8 Plus, which is basically the option in the middle that packs most of the features of the iPhone 10, including the same RAM, same dual cameras and stuff like that. So, the iPhone 8 Plus is a 5.5 inch screen, which is 1080p with a pixel density of 401 ppi. For those of you that are curious and don't know, 1080p is basically 1920 by 1080 pixels. So, anyway, that's the pixel density. 401 ppi. It's got a 625 nits of brightness, dual 12 megapixel cameras on the back, one being f1.8 aperture and f2.8 aperture for the other one. It's got stereo speakers. It's got lightning connector, of course. The speakers are 25% louder than last year's iPhone, so like the 7 and 7 Plus. Now, if you want to see a speaker test, go watch yesterday's speaker test, which is obviously the video after this one, hopefully. It's got that. It has a all-glass back, allowing for wireless charging. It also supports fast charging, which you sadly have to buy separately. Thank you, Apple, but you'll be buying your fast chargers separately. It can go from 0 to 50% in half an hour, which is basically the MacBook Pro adapter, USB-C to Lightning cable as well, paired with that, which will fast charge. Now, by default, you're only getting the normal charger in the box, which is kind of sad, but it's true. You're getting the normal charge with your iPhone. You're getting a 7 megapixel front camera, which is the selfie camera. The 8 Plus feels somewhat bigger than the iPhone 10, due to obviously the fact that it's still got bezels and that. It is the battery champion out of all the iPhones, I'm going to say. I mean, people might want to disagree with me, but personally I think it's the battery champion of all iPhones. We'll see, but it's just what I think. It runs iOS 11, obviously. It looks pretty much the same as the 7 and 7 Plus, 6S Plus and 6 Plus, apart from the glass back. The A11 Bionic chip, though, that just changes everything. So if you give me a second, I'm actually going to pull up some Geekbench results here, and they will actually blow previous iPhones away. So if I go to Geekbench, which is open from Spotlight, it's just too quick, literally. So we've got 10,083 on the multi-core, 4,250 on the single core. Now, the iPhone 7 sort of got like a 4,000 or 5,000 on multi-core. Can't check because I'm actually filming with that right now. Because I can't film with the 8 Plus, obviously, because we're doing a review. But we've got a 4,000 or 5,000 score for the multi-core on Geekbench, which is kind of low. Apple sort of... The A10 was the chip that blew Android away. The A11's just taking that further. It's a hexa-core chip. Now, with the A10, only 2 cores can be used at once. It's got 2 low-end, 2 high-end. With the A11, you can use all cores at once, so 6 cores can be in use, which is just awesome, really. I mean, this chip is just going to blow any Android phone away. The performance is absolutely smooth. Now, let's just see from 10 o'clock this morning around. My battery sits now from 10 o'clock this morning on 40%. So it's coming from like someone that uses the phone a lot, a heavy user and that. So it's still on 40%, which I find quite impressive. So well done for that, Apple. I guess we can credit you for that. I will say this phone is just amazing. I mean, it has the same sort of design, that the band going around it looks like aluminium. It's sort of like what we've seen from the iPhone 7 Plus, 6S Plus and that. The glass back does make it feel a lot different though. Like if you're holding it, it looks similar, but I mean, it might just be me, but to me it feels a lot different. Maybe it's because I haven't had a Plus iPhone before, but now when I go back to the 7 or a smaller phone, just feels tiny. I mean, the Plus is literally the right size for me now. At first, I took it out of the box. I was like, this is a bit big. Like, not as in too big to use. I was just like, this is a bit bigger than what I was used to. But it really was alright straight away. And it just, now holding the Plus, I'm just like, this is the size I'm going to go with. We've also got a glass screen protector and a case over here, which is for the 8 Plus, which obviously has the cutouts for the dual cameras, which we'll put back on the phone now anyway. That all glass back is really nice, though, and it sort of makes you want to take your iPhone out of the case every now and then and just look at it, because that glass back is so nice. But cases are important. So yeah, we have a glass screen protector and a case. So this phone has a 2691 battery, milliamp battery, which Apple claims lasts the same time as the 7 Plus, which, to be honest, I can't say it does. I can't say it doesn't, because I've come from the normal 7, not the Plus, so obviously it's going to last longer than that. It has 4K 60 FPS capability. Now that's due to that processing power inside the iPhone. I mean, if you want to get a camera with 4K 60 FPS, you're going to be paying some high premium, about £2,000, £3,000, and that's basically because of the processing power. I mean, people don't want to pay out to get these high-end processing power thingy cameras into their budget. I mean, processing power on a camera is typically weaker, so obviously you can expect it to be a little different. But to be honest, 4K 60 is pretty decent. I mean, if I had a 256 gig 8 Plus, then this channel would be seeing some 4K 60. I will be doing at some point a video test of 4K 60, but just obviously because of the 64 gig, I mean, I can probably shoot my videos in 4K, then transfer them to my computer, then delete them. But with 4K 60, 3-minute video is 2 gigabytes. So even with like a decent upload speed, you're going to be waiting plenty of time for a 4K 60 video to upload. So I really just don't recommend it in a way if you've got a 64 gig 8 Plus. If you've got a 256 gig 8 Plus or anything like that, then fine. But if you're coming onto a 64 gig and you really need other storage, like for me, I need my storage for music now. I mean, I've got 34 gig available, 34 point something gig available at 34.3. So I guess I could do like about 45 minutes of that 4K, but to use 34 gig in 45 minutes is quite a bit. So if you've got a 256 gig, then fair enough. But me having a 64 gig 8 Plus, I just don't want to use that feature, because I know it's just going to take up too much. I will do a video test, obviously, at some point when I get the chance to go somewhere and do a video test in a place that actually looks nice enough. But personally, I don't think that's just not what I'm going to be doing. So anyway, let's get on to the final section of the review, which is why the iPhone 8 Plus is right for me. Oh, hold on. It has a True Tone display as well, if I didn't mention that, which I don't think I did, which will adjust the colours to your environment, like the ambience and stuff. And I mean, they said that they didn't say much about the front-facing camera. It's still 7 megapixels, but it is an upgrade from what I've heard. It over the 7 and that, it is an upgrade. It has a wider sensor and that, and it looks clearer. But yeah, so on to the next session, why the 8 Plus is right for me. I wasn't expecting to get the 8 Plus, if I'm totally honest. Like, my mum and dad literally told me I was getting the 8. Then I open this box and we see an iPhone 8 Plus, and I'm just picking it up and I'm like, well, there's not one camera on the back, there's 2. So I sort of looked for the home button. So this is not a 10, because the camera's not vertical, there's a home button. So it's an 8 Plus. So I open it, peel off the back of it, I'm like, yeah, it's glass, it's 8 Plus. So the 8 Plus is just a battery champ. The speakers are really good. The screen size is bigger, but it comes at a bigger size than the 10, which I prefer, even though it has a smaller display. Now that I've got this size, I actually prefer it. One-handed use is a bit harder. You're not going to get as far if you're trying to use your 8 Plus one-handed, but it is a really good phone, and I mean, it's a lot quicker than the A10 chip. Now, people are saying it, you don't always notice it in real world, but there's always going to be them places that you're going to notice, obviously, that speed increase, and obviously because of the speed increase, you're going to notice it. So really, it's a fast phone. It's a good size. It's a battery champion. The speakers are really loud. I mean, where else do I go? I'm not ready for that Face ID. I don't trust it all yet. So it sticks with Touch ID and the home button, which I'm quite happy to stick with the original. So I'm actually quite happy with what it's got. If you wanted a demo or speed test of this, I will be doing a demo of the iPhone 8 Plus eventually, but this is not actually a demo. This is literally just my review of the 8 Plus. So it is the right phone for me. I think it has the dual cameras. It has 3 gig of RAM back in the A11 Bionic there, and comes in 64 256 gig. So basically, it has most of the same specs as the 10, apart from the fact that it's not Face ID, it's not bezel-less, and it still has that original home button with Touch ID, which to be honest I prefer. So it's like the iPhone 10 without the Face ID and that, which to me is fine because I'm not ready for that Face ID stuff. Quite honestly, I don't trust it all. So I will take Touch ID over Face ID any day. So that's been a review of the iPhone 8 Plus. If I missed anything out and there's anything you want to know, let me know in the comments, and I will catch you in the next one. And yeah, Happy New Year.